Hi class, I have a couple of appointments this morning and so I made this video for you. Please draw a pair of vertical angles with the given measures. So please do that. Pause the video. I'll be back shortly with the answers. Thanks. As you can see, I have come up with some answers. I drew a 120-degree angle that is vertical. The other angles will be 60 because these are supplementary. 45-degree angle are vertical. Since these are supplementary, those add up to 135 on the other side. We have the 160-degree angles with 20 as the other verticals. We have 30-degree angles with the other as 150. Good work. Next, please take out your homework. Would you please hand out the homework sheet that is in the basket? Students, copy down problems number 2, 5, and 6. Turn them into the basket. When they have done that, please restart the video and I will have the answers for the homework. Thank you. As you can see, I have the answers posted. On number 1, there are some sample answers. There are more than just this. So adjacents are these and these. Vertical are angle DEF and GEH, and FEG and DEH. That's some samples. There are some other ones, especially the adjacent ones. Again, samples for number 2, both the adjacent ones right here and the vertical ones right there. Number 3 is an adjacent angle. It is 123 degrees. Number 4 is also adjacent. X is 10. Number 5 is adjacent and it is 45. Number 6, it is vertical and it is 30. Scrolling down a little bit farther, you can see number 7, 8, and 9. There's what your angles should look like with 100 on the opposites, the vertical, 15s on the vertical, and 150 on the vertical. The final 2 problems, a sample answer is something like this. Again, in this, we had to follow the directions with 2 and 3 needed to be vertical, 1 and 2 needed to be supplementary, 2 and 5 needed to be complementary, which they added up to 90, and then 4 and 5 had to be adjacent. So you should have something like this. There could be other examples of that as well. And number 11, the answer is 75 degrees. Our essential question for the day is, how can you classify 2 angles as complementary or supplementary? The graph on the right over here represents the measures of complementary angles. Use the graph to complete the table. So again, when y is 80, as I look over here, it looks like x is 10. Please pause the video, give the students about 1 minute to try to fill out this table and see what they can come up with. Thanks. Hopefully when you filled out your table, we had 10 and 80, 20 and 70, 25, 65, 30, 60, 45, 45, 50 and 40, 75 and 15. How do you know when 2 angles are complementary? As we talked a little bit yesterday, we know that 2 angles are complementary when they add up to 90 degrees. This graph represents the measures of supplementary angles. Use the graph at the right to complete this table. For example, when x is 20, y is going to be 160. Please pause the video, allow students to fill out that table, and start it in about a minute. Thank you. Hopefully you were able to come up with 2160, 3150, 60, 120, 90 and 90, 130 and 50, 140 and 40, and finally 150 and 30. How do you know when 2 angles are supplementary? As we talked yesterday, and what you can tell from the graph today is that two angles are supplementary when they add up to 180 degrees. In our next exercise, we are to tell whether this statement is always, sometimes, or never true, and then explain. If x and y are supplementary angles, which means they add up to 180, then x is a right angle. Sometimes x may be also acute, but it may be obtuse, but it could be 90. If they are supplementary and this is 90, they are both right angles. In example 2, if x and y are complementary angles, then y is acute. That means they add up to 90. That must be always, because if they are complementary, both angles have to be between 0 and 90. Number 3, if x is a right angle and y is an acute angle, then x and y are supplementary angles. That is false, never. Because if x equals 90 and y is less than 90, then it cannot equal 180 degrees. And our final question is if x is acute and y is obtuse, then x and y are supplementary angles. This would be sometimes, because the sum of x and y could be any value between 90 and 270. If this is acute and this is obtuse, we could be somewhere in there. Yesterday we worked on a little bit of the complementary angles. Two angles that are complementary are when their sum measures up to 90 degrees. These two are complementary angles because 30 plus 60 is 90. Angle 1 and angle 2 are complementary angles because it equals 90 when they put them together. Likewise, supplementary angles are two angles are supplementary when the sum of the measures is 180. When I take 135 and add it to 45, my answer is 180. I know that this is supplementary because we have a straight line, which a straight line means that it is 180. In these three problems, we are to tell whether the angles are complementary, supplementary, or neither. When I look at these, 70 plus 110 will give me 180. Since they are 180, they are supplementary. In the second one, 41 plus 49 equals 90. The angles are complementary because they equal 90. In this one, you can kind of tell it's not a straight line, but to also check, we can take 128 plus 62 is 190. 190 is not complementary, it's not supplementary, so this one is neither. Please tell whether these angles are complementary, supplementary, or neither. Please pause the video, allow students a minute or so to come up with their answers, and then start the video and I will have the answers. In example 1, 26 plus 64 equals 90. That is complementary. In the second one, 44 plus 136 is 180. Therefore, it is supplementary. 70 plus 19 is 89, which is neither. In our next two examples, we are to tell whether the angles are complementary or supplementary and then find the value of x. My assumption is that these are complementary because there are 90 degrees. So what I know is that these add up to 90 because we have a right triangle. I know that 4x plus 36 is equal to 90. In order to solve my equation, I subtract 36 from both sides. When I get done, I am at 4x equals 54, so I'm going to divide by 4, and x is 13.5. In the second one, I have a straight line. I know those two angles make up that straight line, so they are supplementary. So I know that x plus x minus 4 equals 180. When I combine like terms, I get 2x minus 4 equals 180. My next step is to add 4 to both sides to get rid of this negative 4. I then get 2x equals 2x equals 184. Divide by 2. My answer equals x is 92. Our next example is to draw a pair of adjacent supplementary angles so that one has a measure of 60. What I need to do first is I need to get a straight line, like I have done. My next step that I must do is I am going to put a dot in the middle. I am then going to get my protractor out. It looks like this. I am going to set this so that we can set up a 60-degree angle. Here is my 60-degree angle. I am then going to draw my 60-degree angle to connect with this, like so. I will then get rid of my protractor, and I know that this is a 60-degree angle, and I know that this is a 120-degree angle because they have to add up to 180. These are adjacent and supplementary. In my next example, please tell me whether these two angles, are complementary, supplementary, and then find the value of x. Please pause the video, allow students time to finish those two problems. In the first example, these are supplementary, so I know that 4x plus 5 plus 41 will equal 180. When I know this one, these are complementary, so I got x plus 2x minus 3 is equal to 90. My answers, this is supplementary, x is equal to 33.5. This is complementary, x is equal to 31. Our final, we are true or false, just like we did yesterday. Supplementary angles could be both acute. If they are supplementary, they cannot be both acute because that would be both less than 90. That would not work. False. In the second one, supplementary angles could be congruent. Yes, they could be congruent if they are both 90. Complementary angles sum to 180. That is false. They add up to 90. Complementary angles could be obtuse is also false because complementary means it's less than 90. Every angle has a complement and a supplement. That is also false. If I have a 14-degree angle, it will not have a complement and a supplement. We'll talk more about that on Thursday when I am back. Your homework is the textbook, page 280 and 281. You are to do problems 3 through 20 all, and 23 through 27, the odd ones only. So 23, 25, and 27. Students have the rest of class period to work on that. They may need a protractor for a few problems. Please put the protractors back when you are done, and have a great day. I'll see you on Thursday. Thank you.